Number 1. The poorest country, holding the world's trade hostage. Yemen ranks among the poorest nations on Earth, but its location tells a different story, sitting at the crossroads of Asia, Africa, and Europe. This war-torn country guards the Bab-el-Mandeb Strait, a narrow sea passage connecting the Red Sea to the Arabian Sea. It's not just water, it's power. Every day, millions of barrels of oil pass through this strait. Whoever controls it can influence global trade, energy prices, and shipping security. That's why ancient empires, colonial powers, and modern superpowers like the US, China, and Iran have all played tug-of-war over Yemen. But while the world sees strategy, Yemenis see suffering. Despite sitting on a geopolitical jackpot, the country remains crippled by corruption, war, and poverty. It's a brutal irony, a land of ultimate leverage, yet little to no benefit for its own people. Number 2. Addicted to chewing leaves. In the heart of Yemen's culture lies a strange daily ritual, chewing khat, a leafy plant with mild stimulant effects. Every afternoon, streets empty as men and even many women gather in homes and markets, stuffing green leaves into their cheeks until they puff like balloons. It's not just a pastime, it's a national obsession. Around 90% of adult men and half of women regularly chew khat. Political meetings, business deals, and social gatherings all happen with khat in mouth. But this habit comes at a cost. Khat farming consumes massive water resources in an already drought-stricken country and replaces food crops on arable land. Unlike a morning coffee, khat chewing lasts for hours, creating a cycle of addiction, lost productivity, and long-term health issues. Yet for many Yemenis, it's not just a habit, it's heritage, identity, and escape rolled into one green leaf. Number 3. Women hidden behind walls and laws. Yemeni women live in a reality shaped by strict customs, conservative laws, and deep-rooted gender inequality. In public, they're almost invisible, cloaked in black abayas, faces hidden, voices quiet. Many are not allowed to drive, travel alone, or even leave the house without a male guardian. Only 6% of Yemen's formal workforce is female, one of the lowest rates in the world. In rural areas, female literacy can drop below 20%. Girls often leave school by puberty, pressured into marriage, sometimes as young as 12. Early marriage brings devastating consequences: teen pregnancies, high maternal mortality, and lives shaped by dependency. And while some progress was made in the 1990s, years of war and rising conservatism have erased much of it. In Yemen, womanhood often means sacrifice of freedom, health, and dreams. It's not just a gender gap, it's a wall, and many never get the chance to climb it. Number 4. Nose kisses and left-hand taboos. Think a handshake is universal, not in Yemen. In tribal regions, especially among Bedouins, men greet each other by gently pressing their noses together, a symbolic gesture of trust, respect, and ancient tradition. No words needed. But that's just the start of Yemen's culture shock. In daily life, using your left hand is a serious no-no. It's considered unclean, as it's traditionally used for personal hygiene. So if you hand someone money, food, or even a phone with your left hand, expect awkward stares or quiet offense. And for foreign men, never approach a Yemeni woman in public, speaking to her directly, making eye contact, or even offering something politely can be seen as deeply inappropriate. Want to give a gift? Expect it to be rejected at least 3 times before it's accepted. In Yemen, manners are a dance of humility, patience, and ancient unwritten rules. Break them, and you'll feel like a cultural bull in a porcelain shop. Number 5. Once the richest land in the Middle East today. Yemen is synonymous with poverty, but thousands of years ago, it was the envy of empires, known as Arabia Felix or Happy Arabia. Yemen was once the wealthiest land in the region. Why frankincense? This aromatic resin, harvested from the boswellia tree, was more precious than gold, used in religious ceremonies, medicine, and perfumes. It turned Yemen's ancient kingdoms Saba, Himyar, and Qataban into trade powerhouses. Caravans stretched across deserts, ships sailed from its ports, and cities like Shibam rose in the sand, filled with wealth and architectural marvels. Yemeni merchants didn't just trade goods, they exported knowledge, built trade networks from India to East Africa, and laid the foundation for early banking systems. But over time, maritime routes replaced land trade. Oil wealth passed Yemen by. Empires came and went. Now, only crumbling ruins and fading legends remain silent witnesses to a forgotten golden age. Number 6. One country, 3 governments, no peace. Yemen isn't just in conflict. It's in chaos. On paper, it's a republic with a president, a constitution, and a capital. In reality, there are at least 3 rival governments, dozens of militias, and 0 nationwide control. Since 2014, the Houthi rebels have taken over the capital Sana'a, setting up their own administration. The official government fled to Aden, backed by a Saudi-led coalition. Meanwhile, a third group, the Southern Transitional Council, now controls parts of the south, dreaming of reviving the former South Yemen. Each group has its own laws, military, and tax systems. Cities like Taiz change hands constantly. This isn't just a civil war, it's a geopolitical tug-of-war, with Iran and Saudi Arabia pulling strings, and millions caught in the crossfire in Yemen. Governance is not a system, it's a battlefield. Number 7. A mud-brick city that touches the sky. Forget skyscrapers made of glass and steel. In Yemen's capital, Sana'a, the skyline is built from mud and magic, perched over 200-300 meters above sea level. Sana'a is one of the world's highest capitals and one of its most surreal. Its buildings soar 7 to 9 stories high, made entirely from sun-dried bricks and adorned with white gypsum patterns and stained glass windows. Locals call it the poor man's Dubai. But this isn't just about beauty. These structures are smart, thick mud walls, absorb heat by day and release it at night, keeping homes cool without air conditioning. Rooftops double as summer bedrooms under the stars. Sana'a's old city is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, but decades of war have left it crumbling and endangered. Still, its ghostly towers stand a poetic reminder of Yemen's ancient brilliance and architectural defiance. In a region of marble palaces, Sana'a rises in silence, sculpted from earth and time. Number 8. Life in ruins, but not without hope. Step into a Yemeni street, and you might see children playing beside bullet-scarred walls, makeshift market stalls barely standing, and mothers stretching a single loaf of bread to feed 4 mouths. Daily life here isn't just hard, it's survival. Most Yemenis live below the poverty line, earning as little as $30 a month. Clean water is scarce. Power outages are constant. Entire families crowd into refugee camps with no access to health care. And yet, there's dignity in the chaos. Sellers still smile when making a rare sale. Families gather to share food even when there's barely enough. Strangers offer tea and kindness, proving that war may crush buildings, but it can't erase humanity. One haunting image defines Yemen's everyday life: guns next to groceries. Nearly everyone, shopkeepers, farmers, teachers, carries a weapon, not by choice, but by necessity. This is a place where despair walks the streets, but resilience walks right beside it. Number 9. Camel urine, Yemen's ancient beauty secret. It sounds like a bizarre rumor, but in Yemen, camel urine isn't just folklore. It's a widely used traditional remedy believed to detox the body, heal the liver, brighten skin, and even promote hair growth. In markets across cities like Marib and Hadramaut, plastic bottles of camel urine, especially from virgin female camels, are sold for up to $20 a liter. Some hair salons even mix it with oils, claiming it revives scalp health. This centuries-old practice is rooted in tribal medicine and passed down as ancestral wisdom. But modern science, not so sure. The World Health Organization warns of serious infection risks. Still, belief persists. In a land where pharmaceuticals are scarce and tradition runs deep, camel urine is seen not as strange, but sacred. Would you try it for flawless skin in Yemen? Beauty routines can be as wild as the land itself. Number 10. The island that doesn't belong on Earth. If you think Yemen is all desert and ruins, meet Socotra Island, a surreal paradise in the Arabian Sea that looks more like an alien planet than a Middle Eastern destination. This UNESCO World Natural Heritage Site is home to the dragon's blood tree, with red sap and umbrella-shaped branches that defy biology. Over 30% of its plant species exist nowhere else on Earth. White sand beaches, turquoise waters, and untouched limestone caves make Socotra a dream for explorers. But reaching it isn't easy. Few flights, high costs, and political red tape keep most tourists away. Beyond Socotra, Yemen also boasts ancient skyscraper cities like Shibam, known as the Manhattan of the desert, and mountaintop forts like Sira Castle in Aden. Despite war and hardship, Yemen hides treasures natural and historical, waiting for the brave to discover them. Not your typical vacation. Exactly. Number 11. Ghost cities and gates to hell. Yemen isn't just ancient, it's mysterious. Some of its landmarks feel like they belong in legends, not maps. Deep in the desert lies the so-called Gate of Hell, a natural gas crater that's been burning non-stop for years. Locals say it was accidentally ignited during drilling, but the result is haunting, a blazing red pit glowing against the dark sands, like a portal to another world. Then there's Marrakesh, an ancient ghost city of the Sabian kingdom, abandoned for centuries. It's filled with crumbling temples, silent watchtowers, and legends whispered by the wind in the Haraz Mountains. Villages cling to cliffs, shrouded in fog and folklore. Places like Al-Hajara seem to vanish at dusk, wrapped in myths of spirits and ancient warriors. Yemen's landscapes aren't just scenic, they're storybooks carved in stone, and some pages still unread. Number 12. Flavors of fire and history. Forget fancy restaurants in Yemen. The best meals are shared on the floor, eaten with your hands, and seasoned with centuries of tradition. The national dish, salta, is a bubbling stew of meat, vegetables, and Hawaii spices, topped with a frothy fenugreek sauce called hulba. It's served in a clay pot and eaten with freshly baked flatbread, crispy on the outside, soft inside. Then there's mandi, a celebratory rice dish with slow-cooked lamb or chicken, flavored with saffron, cloves, and cardamom, roasted in underground ovens. The result, tender meat that melts in your mouth. And for drinks, skip the coffee, try quiche, made from spiced coffee husks, ginger, and cinnamon, warming, earthy, and served as a gesture of hospitality. Yemeni food isn't just about flavor. It's about togetherness, identity, and resilience, even when ingredients are scarce. The soul of the meal is always rich. Number 13, weddings that last a week and a feast for the soul in Yemen. A celebration isn't measured by hours, it's by days of joy, ritual, and community. Take a Yemeni wedding, it can last from 3 to 7 days, with traditional music, dancing, and feasts that bring entire neighborhoods together. The bride often wears layers of richly embroidered dresses, adorned with silver or gold jewelry, passed down through generations. But weddings are just the start. Eid al-Fitr marks the end of Ramadan with sweet pastries, new clothes, and visits between families. Children receive gifts and money. Laughter fills the streets, and communities momentarily forget hardship. Then comes Eid al-Adha, the festival of sacrifice, where families butcher lambs and share the meat 1/3 for themselves, 1/3 for relatives, and 1/3 for the poor. Even in the harshest times, Yemenis hold tight to celebration. Because here, faith and festivity walk hand in hand, reminding everyone that joy is a form of resistance. Number 14, want to visit Yemen. Here's what it'll cost you. Amiyu, traveling to Yemen isn't your typical budget trip, but it's not just for millionaires either. If you're a hardcore explorer willing to rough it, you can spend as little as $20 or $50 a day staying in homestays, eating street food, and using shared taxis. It's bare bones, but real. For mid-range comfort hotels, full meals, private guides expect to spend around $80 or $100 per day. But the real shock, a 7-day guided tour to Socotra Island, can cost up to $2,500 or $3,000, including accommodation, transport, permits, and a local minder, someone to help you navigate cultural norms and stay safe. Why so expensive? Yemen's infrastructure is fragile. Flights are limited, and visas are tightly controlled. Still, for the few who make it, the experience is priceless, a journey into a world untouched by mass tourism. So, budget backpacker or desert dreamer, which one are you? Number 15, entering Yemen. If you dare planning a trip to Yemen, brace yourself. It's not for the casual traveler. Years of conflict have left vast regions unsafe or off-limits. Tourist visas aren't issued freely. Most travelers must book through licensed agencies and join organized tours. Even then, routes are restricted, and security can shift overnight. Air travel is limited. The capital's airport is often closed, so most visitors fly through Cairo, Djibouti, or Oman, then take domestic routes. Some destinations even require a minder, a local escort who ensures you don't break cultural rules or wander into danger zones. Dress codes are strict, especially for women-covered arms, loose clothing, And headscarves are essential. And always ask before photographing people or religious sites. Yemen isn't easy, fast, or comfortable. But if you're patient, respectful, and curious, it rewards you with raw beauty, unmatched hospitality, and stories you'll never forget. Yemen isn't just a country, it's a paradox wrapped in beauty, struggle, and soul. It flips your expectations at every turn, where poverty hides ancient riches, chaos conceals kindness, and desolation gives birth to defiant joy. This isn't just a place you visit. It's a place that transforms the way you see the world. Because in Yemen, reality is always stranger and deeper than fiction. Which fact shocked you the most? Camel urine, nose kissing, or ancient skyscrapers? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us what country we should explore next.